This is way better than we thought as we get multiple updates surrounding the St. Louis Blues heading into the Prospect Showcase this weekend. That signifies a huge change coming to this Blues team that is going to have fans fired up. We're going to break down all this, the key prospects to watch out in this tournament, and the exact line combinations as they head in to the showcase. We're going to break down all this and so much more later on in this episode. Before we get into that, if you're part of the 52.7% watching this and you want to stay up to date on everything to do around the St. Louis Blues, make sure to go down, hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. It helps out a ton. And in return, we'll continue giving you daily updates from all around the Blues. Well, with that, Darius, let's just hop straight into this and let's change it up a tiny bit today. We want to go straight into comment of the day today because this is a special one. Coming from Mike, and he goes in to say, when I see you guys come on, I pause everything. I've been a fan of the Blues since 1967. Thanks for starting the channel, and you were the second subscriber. We just want to give a huge shout out, seriously, to everyone that watches. We're doing a little change up, the second screenshot for this video for the second subscriber. So if you want to go and leave a comment on anything we talk on in this video, make sure to go and leave that down below because you could be featured on comments today. But Darius, going straight into it, before we touch on these prospects, we did get some news that is a little nice for John Kelly, but it kind of sucks as a Blues fan. We can see the Kings going in to name their broadcast team and John Kelly being the play-by-play. Initially, what is your thoughts on this? Listen, we'd love to see him land on his feet with another team, but it's going to suck not seeing him cheer or kind of cover the Blues.
Yeah, we covered this in a video earlier this summer when it happens, when the Blues ultimately let him go. And I saw that the reaction was 50-50, right? Like he's kind of synonymous with the Blues, and there's a lot of commentators around the league like that with different teams, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Washington Capitol, like so many guys, right? But it's been a 50-50 reaction. A lot of people actually believe that he's not that great, and they're welcoming a new change to the Blues broadcast booth. So we're very curious to hear what you have to say about this. I think it's obviously a little weird. Like if any other team lost their commentator and he went to another team and a team that's been around for the same time as the Blues, it would be a little weird, of course. So let us know how you feel about that in the comments. Ultimately, again, it's a little weird, but a lot of Blues fans actually are welcoming a change this season. And, throwback jerseys, it's going to feel a little different this year. And I think that's pretty exciting.
And speaking on feeling different, we could see even more new faces within this team, and it goes straight in. Listen, check Lou's stuff out. He does an incredible job covering this team as well. But it goes into the prospect practice lines going into the showcase. We're going to dive on a couple of these players. I just want to say at first, Stenberg, Dvorsky, and Carbonneau is absolutely disgusting. This is going to run through the other teams. We can see a lot of names throughout this list, but Darius, is there any names? And listen, I know we did cover a recent signing that did end up making it to North America, but looking at this list, we're going to get into that top line very soon, but is there any other names that kind of stand out for you?
Well, looking at this lineup, first of all, yes, there is a couple names. Obviously, we've been touching on the channel, but looking at that first line, for anyone that's played the old NHL video games, hero line. That is the hero line to put out at the end of a game or anything like that when you need a goal. Stenberg, Dvorsky, Carbonneau. That is a power line. I'm very excited to see what they do with each other. And also, I'm very happy that the Blues brass in this prospect tournament, obviously the scrimmages right now, we're going to see some games. We're going to get some game action soon, are not spreading out the lines at all. Like these are three guys that can play at a high level, put them together and see what type of magic that they create with each other. I think that's very exciting. And I think that for these top guys, you want to see them dominate this line specifically. There's a couple other names we'll get to because that top defensive pairing is really cool as well. But this top line, I want to see them dominate. And I think all Blues fans want to see them dominate, just not in the scrimmages, but in these games as well, because these are guys who are poised to try and make the NHL. They're teetering on the NHL and the AHL. And I think the Blues brass is really looking at these guys like force our hand, play so well that we maybe, we have to make a trade and move somebody so you can come up and play on this roster. So I don't think a lot of these guys, especially Carbonneau, are taking this very lightly. Again, we don't know too many of the motivations from Stenberg specifically. He hasn't really spoken out, or there's been no interviews and stuff like that. But obviously, I'm sure he wants to make an impact and come in, try and make the team and make an impact at the AHL level. That's for sure. But for a guy like Carbonneau and Dvorsky, we know that they're kind of right there, right? So Don't take this lightly. Come in, dominate. I'm glad that they're playing together. But Mark, I want your thoughts as well on this, first of all, but that first defensive pairing, because I think that's really interesting as well.
I mean, looking at the top line, it really does feel like the brass went out to say, hey, these are the guys that are most likely the closest to crack this lineup out of camp. We've seen Justin Carbonneau being reportedly kind of set to get a 9-game sample size. Dvorsky is right on the crisp, and we know someone like Stenberg wants to take the jump. We've seen his elite hands, his playmaking, his goal scoring. This entire top line is not only going out to prove they can dominate other prospects, they are going out to prove to this management group that they deserve to start on this team going into day one of this season. Now, looking at this group, there is a lot of forwards that could come in, but it's going to get interesting. I can't see all three. Listen, I would love to see all three break into the lineup and be ready, but the big thing is, I think 1 to 2 max of these guys make it into the lineup to start the season. Not to say they won't get sample sizes throughout the year, but I do expect Carbonneau to get that 9-game sample size. If he ends up going back to the queue, which is not a bad thing for his development, maybe this is where Dvorsky jumps straight into the lineup, or Stenberg, if he's really dominating. It's going to get interesting how this looks. And listen, we're doing full coverage on this as well, so keep your eye on. There's so many more prospects that we're not even going to touch on in this video, but that top line is really showing signs of this group saying, hey, 3 of you guys want to make it, go and prove that you can work together, play together. Maybe this is the future top line of the Blues team in the next 4 years. This is an exciting time to be a Blues fan, and it goes straight into the defensive pairings. Like you said, Lindstein and Jiricek is going to be must-watch. They might not go out and be the flashiest players. They might not go out and score 4 goals a game in this tournament, but going in with the yin and yang, the defensive and the offensive defenseman, it's going to be interesting. Listen, Jiricek had a very down year with injuries. He is still a very productive player in the OHL, 12 points in 27 games, 2 points in 9 playoff games. But overall, between him and Lindstein, I expect a lot to be a shutdown and offensive guy. Darius, what is your thoughts on this? Because I do think there's a tiny bit of implications on both these players as well.
This is the all-star name line at this point, or pairing, whatever you want to call it. Adam Jiricek and Theo Lindstein. That's a lot of fun to say, but like you mentioned, right, that yin and yang pairing. I love this a lot in this rookie camp, or whatever we're calling it. So many other teams are calling it prospect tournament, whatever it is at this point. But I think it's really exciting because it's really going to be able to activate Adam Jiricek on the offensive side of the puck, right? And that's where I think he's going to be best, and where you see a lot of his highlights kind of pointing towards, where he's really explosive in that way, and like the World Juniors, and obviously Brantford last year, injury troubles like you mentioned, but still pretty explosive in the games that he did play, and looks like he's going to be an impact player at the next level too. So that's kind of going to activate him in these couple games. Let's see what he has offensively. And then Lindstein is a very exciting prospect, because so many teams over the last 10 years are drafting guys for that high offensive upside, and who are the guys that are really explosive, and then they figure we can just sign guys who are boring stay-at-home defensemen or anything like that. But Lindstein is a guy who has elite skills in that regard, so that's very exciting. And he's going to be paired with a guy that, again, is kind of the opposite of him in that regard. Not that saying that Jiricek is not good defensively or anything like that. I'm not alluding to that, but I do think that, you know, they're going to complement each other really well. So I'm excited to see what we have in both of these players. They both seem to be healthy, feeling good coming into this camp too. So where do they fall? Are they going to end up in the AHL as well, right? To keep an eye on that. So that's going to be very exciting. And there's a couple other guys, if we can pop up the lineup again one more time, Mark, that, you know, keep an eye on that third defensive pairing there. McIsaac, we covered on the channel, and Fisher, we just covered a couple of days ago as well. Keep an eye on those two guys, because I think they want to come in and make a name for themselves and an impact too, both offensively, of course, and physically. So keep an eye on those guys, because there are no prisoners in rookie camp sometimes. We've seen injuries around the league. So I'm excited to see what those two guys do. Keep an eye on those two names, and Cranley and Net too, because I think the Blues have something really special going on between the pipes, whether it's the NHL, the AHL, and you know, everyone through the pipeline.
And I think the big thing with this, it kind of signifies this youth movement the Blues team's having. I mean, Carbonneau is looking like an absolute gem coming out of this draft. I mean, same with Stenberg from a few years ago. But going into just the forward group, as we talk about the defensemen as well, there's so many young names within this lineup. Dylan Holloway coming in, Neighbors, Snuggerud, and this is not even talking on the defense or the 3 guys listed on bottom. fighting for a spot, I think we're really getting into this new realm of Blues where you have your elite forwards, the veterans, the young guys breaking through. Darius, it's only a matter of time before this team goes on a very deep run. Could happen as early as this season, but the future looks so bright. It looks blue. It's like looking at the sky. Leave it that thought on all this down below. What pairing or line do you think is going to be the most fun to watch? Who are you most excited for to see break out? Let us know down in the comments. But that will be it for this episode, and we want to thank everyone so much for watching once again. Make sure to go leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back in another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark, with my co-host, Darius, and take care, Blues fans.